All right, lovely people. I wanted to get on here and I wanted to show you an example and a really cool tool for recording your use of time. And this rolls really perfectly into one of the myths that I'm going to be discussing during my upcoming webinar, Making School Counseling Data Collection Easy, where I'm talking about a myth of feeling like you can't collect data because you're never going to be consistent. So I know some of you are probably looking at this calendar like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But you got to do what works for you. And so what I wanted to show you, like I said, this is Google Calendar. So if your job is using like the Google Suites, this is a really cool tool. And honestly, I could be honest and say it took me a minute to really get into the process of using my Google Calendar because my admin it doesn't matter to the school. Anytime we've had Gmail as our main provider, they love to use the calendar functions because what you could do is, you can search for people and search their calendars over here, and you can kind of see when people are available and when they're not. So, as a school counselor, it was really important for me to put in like my dates and what I'm doing so that, say, if a parent wants to have a pop up meeting, and they're talking with admin, admin can easily search and see my calendar to see when my best availability is and not to schedule me in the middle of a classroom lesson. So, for this school year, I wanted to make sure that I got all of my direct services on my calendar. I mean, well, even my indirect services with some of my meetings as well too. But so on Google Calendar, what you could do is, or I guess what I've done, is I've put in like all of like my meetings. So you see here, I have my individual counseling sessions. The yellow is me holding for counsel requests. Again, I'm middle school and high school this school year. So I'll have a Calendly link out there, and kids can actually schedule in 15-minute increments during these times if they want to come see me. Um, obviously have my classroom lesson time on here, times for small groups. Now, I'm not going to be doing all of these small groups. However, just to figure some things out, I had to put them there for a time placement. So I'll probably be taking some of these off as I'm only starting with a ninth grade group as well as a eighth grade group. Well, no, ninth grade and a 12th grade group. Um, and then, of course, I have some meetings on here. So, also looking at the calendar, I have an A week. Particularly, it's A week because that's the first week that I start classroom lessons. I have a B week. That's when I get the second group of homeroom classroom lessons done. And then the last 2 weeks, or however many weeks we have in that month, are just regular weeks that are a little bit lighter and have more time for me to actually do counsel requests. So the really cool thing that Google Calendar lets you do is you see this thing that says time insights over here, right? So when I created my things that I put on my calendar, I was able to click on each one. So I'll show you an example. You click on these, and let's say we're going to edit this. You could choose a color and it's going to ask you to label what it is. So I went through and I labeled all the other things that I was going to do, right? Now, if I come over here to insights and I click on this little data chart right here where it says more insights, it pulls this up over here. So over here, you can see it has a pie chart that shows you your time breakdown by type, by color, but I actually like to do it like this. So I actually asked it not to record my counseling request. However, it is, and specifically because again, it's going to vary based off of when kids are scheduling time with me. So it'll change as I actually get scheduled sessions with kids. But for right now, it is measuring like when I'm doing my individual counseling lessons, when I'm doing small groups. And like I said, it gives you an hour breakdown for each week. And I'm pretty sure if I, go through the settings, it'll do it for like a time frame if I wanted it to as well. And then it also shows me like the time that I spend in meetings for the week. Really cool tool. Cause say like if, I have my calendar and what is it? Like I said, my small groups. I'm not going to use all of these small groups. So right now it has me at 5.6 hours. As soon as I start taking some off, obviously those hours are going to decrease. But say if I had to put in time because I was doing like a lunch duty, or if I needed to put in time to show that I was responding to like co-regulation or like a crisis situation, I could put that in there and then it's going to calculate that time for me. Um, Even if I just labeled it like non-counseling task or whatever it is. But this is a great tool if, again, you want to use of time, but you feel like you're going to be inconsistent because week to week, I already have my calendar scheduled and set up for the entire school year. And like I said, because it's Google Calendar, I can easily remove things if it doesn't happen, So say if it's Thursday and for whatever reason we don't get to do that 7:30 a.m. counseling lesson, I could just delete it. Or if I reschedule it, I could just move it to the date that it's going to be. And like I said, as things pop up, I can always add them, which I'm going to be doing anyway, because again, I use my calendar daily to help me remember what is it that I'm supposed to be doing, where am I supposed to be going. So again, as those random things throughout the day pop up or challenges, I can always just add them here. I can figure out what type of label I want to put on it to help data keep. But again, that's to me easier than me going and finding a spreadsheet and trying to figure out how many quarter hours or a half hour that I'm doing certain things. So again, this is on Gmail. That's Time Insights. You're going to go to More Insights, and it's really going to be a valuable tool. Again, if you're trying to advocate and show either your administrator or the staff like, hey, I'm spending a lot of time doing this, or I'm spending a lot of time doing that, or I don't have the time to do the lunch duty because I need to be going and doing more groups. So either way, really great tool. I hope that this is helpful for you. Let me know and respond to my email if you plan on using this or if you already use this tool. I just figured it out like last week, so I wanted to make sure I shared. But again, make sure you sign up for my webinar that's coming up. The link should be in the email as well. Making school counseling data collection easy. Invite a friend.